Let's have our monthly look at the state of the wool market. Grant Edwards joins us from PGG Wrights and Wool. And Grant, we've seen lifts, slow but steady, for the past couple of months, but then we had a wee cooling of the heels yesterday, or at yesterday's auction. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Jamie, and afternoon to all your listeners. Yes, that's correct. We've seen significant lifts, albeit, as we always talk about, off a low base, but we have seen around that 50 to 60 cents greasy throughout February, March. And we did see a slight softening in the Christchurch sale yesterday. In the same token, when you get lifts or any degree of lifts, it takes a breather at some stage. So I'd like to put it in that context, that we took a wee bit of a breather yesterday. But in the same token, there's been a lot of wool on the market too, Jamie.
You're in the shearing capital of New Zealand now, Te Kuiti.
I certainly am today, and it's a beautiful day here, Jamie. Conditions are a bit dry, talking to a number of the locals, but it's certainly, it is purported, and certainly I'm sure talking to anybody from Te Kuiti, it's the shearing capital of the world. Yeah,
well, the New Zealand shares, which are coming up next month in Te Kuiti, will take extra importance this year simply because the golden shares were cancelled for the first time in 60-odd years. All right, so let's have a look at the wool types. Strong wool versus fine wool, Grant. What's the difference in the market there?
Certainly, we're from that finest wool, Jamie. We're out of the market largely for that. Most of that comes off that sort of July through to November, December period. Australia, the Australian market for those wools is steady. It's certainly been steady over the last couple of months, and from that crossbred point of view, as I say, it's encouraging to see those lifts. We're certainly back to those pre-COVID levels. When we this time last year, I think we were just gone into lockdown, and of course that affected the whole wool supply chain, and not just wool, a lot of other things around the world, and certainly here in New Zealand. But we've certainly gained. The market came back 30 to 40% at that stage, and we've certainly gained those declines back.
Hey Grant, are we seeing less second share going on now? Because I know it's a very good management tool, but the cost of shearing outweighs in some cases what you get for the wool these days. Have farmers gone back to once a year shearing?
Not so much from that point of view, Jamie, but we have seen a little bit through that hogget shearing period when those hoggets get shorn September, October, November. Growers have tended to leave them on just a little bit longer to get a bit more length into the wool. So we've certainly seen that. From a second share, certainly here in the North Island, it's a very key management tool, and it's a quality tool as well, given the climatic conditions and the colour that you can get in the wool and the vegetable matter. So we're not seeing a lot of it, but we've certainly seen a little bit, it would be fair to say.
I just want to give you guys at PGG Wrights and a bit of a pat on the back. At the Wanaka show every year, the AMP show, the Upper Clutha AMP show to give it its correct name, you guys run a charity auction every year, normally raise 10 or 12 grand, which is not to be sniffed at all. But this year, wow, $58,000 for the Neonatal Trust. Well done.
Yeah, it certainly is, Jamie, and it's a great thing that the local team do down there. It does, as you say, it does happen every year, and we identify or pick a different charity or organisation each year. It's been St John's in the past, and the Rescue Helicopter, those sort of organisations. And as you rightly say, this year it was the Neonatal Trust, Targa Southland, and $58,000 was raised, and it just shows the generosity of the people. Of people that is out there. One item in particular, the Wallace family put up a very generous package to Minaret, and it certainly well and truly exceeded expectations. But as I say, the generosity of everybody involved in the whole auction, and the local team for actually making it happen, it was great to see.
Yes, and the Wallace family that Grant was referring to is the family of Sir Tim Wallace, wonderful contributors to that part of the world, in fact, to New Zealand for aviation and agriculture. Grant Edwards, thanks for your time. We'll chat again next month about the wool market.
Thanks, Jamie.